Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is more of my Dark Anniversary, and this is the kiln and the subsequent PvP from within it. So we're up against a guy going through the game. This is not a PvP build, but he's more than welcoming the fight and the challenge of it, which is always nice to see. He's using the Gravelord sword, he's being creative, he's going for different attacks, he's going for jump attacks and running attacks and backstep attacks. Pulls out a little dark bead, which people probably won't like too much, but it's part of his build, and he's using an interesting catalyst, so props for that one. And unfortunately he doesn't have a lot of poise, so he's going to struggle against a katana just because of the speed difference. And I think he tries to two-hand the catalyst when I get close, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, he does. So, unfortunate on his behalf, but it was a fun fight nonetheless. And this is our thief guy who likes to try and spam parries to try and get that lucky riposte. So we'll see if he's learnt anything from our last encounter. So he's actually swinging his weapon now, which I like, but he's also swinging his shield, which I don't like because, as you can see, it doesn't work. But I suppose, you know, props to him for trying it, for persisting, but unfortunately that's not how you get better. Or is it? Because one of the things that definitely helped me get better was losing a lot. When you learn to lose on any game, I think you get significantly better because it's not a pride thing then. It's not a personal thing. It's just you made mistakes, learn from them. And if you do, you become a much better player. If you don't, you'll probably continue to make mistakes for the rest of your time with whatever game you're on. But this is a full giant again. We've fought this dude before, and hopefully this one will be a bit more interesting than the last one. I'm teasing him a little bit with the arrows because I want to get used to swapping to the bow. I want to get good at it. I do a counter backstab then, get him down for nearly 600 damage. Throw the Lloyds. It doesn't catch him though. And I think on this time he actually doesn't heal. So right there I miss my toggle parry, but I get it on that one. And I actually thought I had my sword in my hand then, because I pressed the D-pad enough to have my sword in my hand. It's just the game never swapped, which is a little frustrating, but I don't mind because he's low on life and I'm probably going to finish him off. And if you'll notice, he doesn't use his Estus, he tries to heal with a miracle, so I was really grateful for that because it kept the integrity of the fight. So I bowed to him, and I was like, that's awesome that dude, you could have healed with a flask, but you chose not to. I don't know what this is, but this looks like a PvE guy. He looks like he's full-on tank, waiting for Gwyn. Did you see that? He's got a claymore and a massive Black Knight greatsword, so this guy's as heavy as it gets. He's got, what is that, steel set? Steel set on, Havel's legs, Havel's helmet, and those gloves, are they Smo's gloves? They look pretty fierce. So this guy, I can't even imagine what poise break he's got at this moment. It must be ridiculous. But here he comes. There's a big miss. They are Smo's gauntlets. So that is a lot of poise anyway. But I'm not going to try and stun lock him because there's no point, because it can't be done. Oh, he's going for the R2s as well. What a guy. I love that. A lot of respect for players that do that. Pulls the claymore back out, goes for the backstab. Doesn't catch it though, probably due to lag. So he's chasing me a little bit. So I'm toggling. No, don't need to toggle. That's one of the worst things about trying to toggle when you've got the Darkwood Grain Ring. A lot of the hits you can flip out of them. And when you're trying to toggle, sometimes you look for the toggle as opposed to looking to survive. And it can get to the point where you're willingly taking hits when you don't need to. And that's one of the hardest things about the technique for me personally. If I'm predicting a hit, to toggle out of it, with the same logic, I could evade it. And that's the thing I can't get used to because it's so counterintuitive to the way I've played games my entire life. So it's a fun challenge for me personally to go against my very instincts on how to fight, but I'm enjoying it, even if I'm not that good at it. So I missed my setup parry, and right then, if he'd not have done the R2 to combo, which was nice of him because it was creative, I don't think I would have landed that parry, and I think he probably would have killed me. Right, so I believe this is someone, I think, who knows the channel. He sent me a really funny message. I think it was this guy anyway. Essentially, the message said, "Why do you keep killing me?" or "You seem to like killing me," or something like that. And, and I had to send it back, you know, it's nothing personal, dude. I'm just invading and you're the person that the game's giving me. So I'm fighting you. But he's throwing poison knives at me, which is a good strategy because it's really useful when it works. I've already poisoned him though because he's got the dragon head on, and I don't think the dragon head makes you that weak to poison, but I know dragons are very vulnerable to status effects. He hits me with a quick combustion, hiding behind his shield a little bit, which is usually the sign of a new player or an extremely defensive player. So he does keep trying to do the black flame. I get a quick hit on him there. Quick running attack. He's very close to dying here. He is poisoned, so he's going to have to either get aggressive or he needs to cure the poison. So he comes in with the black flame. He's probably going to try and spam it a little bit because he needs to, because he's losing. And I counter him with a backstab, and that's the end of the fight. So this is everybody's favourite. This time he's invading me. He's put his armour back on, he's put another giant sword on, and hopefully he's learnt his lesson. But it looks like all he's doing is parry spamming, so I'm just going to show him what the kick does. And he's going for the backstab. So, yeah, not learning. This is good. See that? How does that work? So for anybody that's unaware, if you kick somebody and they're not blocking, it will stagger them every single time, regardless of poise, regardless of everything. It didn't on this guy for some reason. It must have been lag. He just walked around me and backstabbed me, and it would have probably ended on any other player. But instead, it just decided to hit me with that big hornet hit, and it's a shame, but it happens. And yeah, I got smashed. I ended up getting smashed when I tried to chain stab him. But this is a really fun fighter I found in the kiln. Me and this guy's connection together must have been golden, because he was invading me before I'd even finished doing what I was doing. And it just so happened that he's a decent player, a really good player in fact. He's creative, he didn't get angry when he lost, he just took it and carried on, and we had a lot of really fun sessions together. He's using pretty low poise, he's using the Moonlight Greatsword, and he's using it well too. So we have a lot of close fights. And I do eventually mix up weapons against him just to give him some interesting choices. Some of them are successful, some of them are not successful, but in the end they're all pretty interesting. And I'm curious to how long he's been PvPing, because he's functional, but there are certain parts of his game that make me think that he's probably a little bit newer than more people, or he's had a break from the game for quite a while and come back. Something along those lines. So right there I attacked a guy during a bow. And if you're wondering why I did this, there's an invasion that I didn't put in this session of videos where I came into this guy's world and he was summoning phantoms. He was healing again, summoning phantoms. So I was just like, sorry dude, I can't do this. And I killed him. And I don't think I've ever shown a video like that where I've killed somebody during an introduction, but, you know, you've got to be brutal sometimes, guys. This is an invasion. These are not arranged fights. Sometimes you need to show a person that if you want to fight fair, fight fair. If you don't want to fight fair, don't fight fair. But you can't have both. It doesn't work that way. And I'm not going to send him a message telling him how he should play, because at this moment in time, I'm trying my best to just accept the fact that everybody plays differently, and I'm just playing the way that I want to. But me and this guy again, going to battle. Moonlight Greatsword versus Chaos Blade. Right there, if I'd have been a little bit less eager on that parry, I think that would have been spot on. But the thing that this guy's good with is he's doing the unlocked R2s on the Moonlight Greatsword, which is not a difficult thing to do, but a lot of people don't know that you can actually do it, so it's really interesting. And if I had any regrets in our fights and our time together, it was occasionally I would hit him when he fell off the map and he was running around to get back on, and he used those opportunities to grass, and it's the middle of the fight and I'm literally launching arrows the second I see him, and just like then, like, I hate hitting people during grasses. That's why I stood still, because I was annoyed, and it's like, you know, I'm not that person usually. And you know, a lot of fight clubs and a lot of duels and things, they have a rule where, you know, the first grass is free and everyone after that is punished. But, you know, it's just the way I like to play is if somebody's using a stamina item like that, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them do it. You know, buffs depend. If it's somebody who's fun, who I'm having fun with, and, you know, they're giving me a good fight, I'll let them buff for days, because it just makes it more exciting. If it's somebody that's just trying to hornet stab you with a buff and they've got, you know, 6 casts of WOG, then I'm not going to let them buff. And right there I miss the parry. I toggle, he doesn't do the third hit because he's extremely tentative on the stun locks. He's obviously aware of things like setup parries. And I've got my fist out again when I thought I had my sword out. Bloody inputs. But this is much closer. He's doing some unlock stuff. I get him quickly there and break his poise as he tries to hit me with the fancy boomerang guile sonic booms. And I hit him when he grasses again. It's like, god damn it. That was a weird grass too because it didn't register. So if you're watching this, dude, I'm sorry about the grass hits. It wasn't intentional. I'm sure you were aware of it at the time, but it sucked because it's such a cheap tactic. Right there I go for the trade because I knew I could finish him. And it was another good fight, so good job, sir. Good fight. And I did say that this guy invaded me a lot because our connections were spot on, so you're going to see a lot of fights between me and Terminin. So he starts off again with his opening move where he summons the Crystal Soul Masses, and there was a pattern developing because it was the first thing he did every time. So later on you're going to see me after the grass, I'm going to put on the bow and I'm going to get the hit when he's casting the spells, which was a tactical choice by me to get that first bit of damage. He's also wearing a piece of armor that's fantastic against poison, so I don't think I ever really poisoned him, but this is one that's going much better his way. You know, he started off with some really big hits on me, pulls out the Catalyst again, I go for the punish. My biggest thing against that kind of magic on Dark Souls is the lag. Like, they can be almost useless sometimes, and other times they can be amazing. You know, they'll clip you when they don't even hit you, when they're not even on your screen. Like, I've been hit by a full set of Soul Masters that were still above the character, who was 10 yards away from me. And I'm not talking a second later they flew, I'm talking they never flew in the entire animation of me dying. So, oh, he's fixing his sword there, which he should have done before the invasion, but, you know, he's doing it in the heat of battle, and I am going to punish that one. But comes back with the running attack, does the boomerang hit, goes for the parry as well. He lured it well, but he was a little bit slow on it, and I got a partial. So I was close to being parried, but not close enough. Get him on a counter hit, but he gets another partial parry. So on his screen, those must have been golden. They must have looked really good. But luckily enough for me, you know, it was just a little bit too, you know, what am I even trying to say? You know, the timing between mine and his screen was just a little bit off in my favour. So he comes back with the Soul Masses, comes back with the running attack. I go for the parry on the second hit, because one of the things I noticed he did a lot was after the running attack, he followed it up with a swing. Right there, he rolled into attack, which I should have parried, but I didn't for some reason, and I don't know why I didn't. Goes for a roll parry there, very interesting to see stuff like that. He's doing a little spinning around to give the illusion of the unlocked play, which a lot of people does. Then he goes for the parry, fires off the second function. Quick arrow over to him. I'm probably going to blossom as he fixes his stuff, and then I'm going to pull the... Oh, and you see, I held it that time. Held it, because I noticed he was grassing, held the arrow, and then fired afterwards. But get him with a quick counter damage for 440, which is ridiculous for a weapon such as this. Then I get the roll backstab. So it's going a little bit closer my way, this fight. Again, I go for the parry. Doesn't work. Right then I go for the toggle parry, but he did the second function, and he hit me with the splash, which was a really good combo then. Like, I've never seen anybody do something like that, which is very, very cool, dude. I was impressed at that moment. So a couple of arrows his way. Every time he fired them, I was worried, because you never knew where he was going to put them. Really, really interesting. It's a mind game as well. And again, you see that? If I'd not punished it with a backstab, I could have done it with a parry, because every time I had the bow on, he would roll attack at me, and I never thought to do the parry, which is bad play on my part, and it's a pattern that I don't think he recognised on his own part. So very interesting to see those habits emerging as we spent more time with each other fighting. So this is a guy who's in the Dragon Covenant. Is it a Dragon Lord? I'm not too sure what they call them. And he invades through Dragon Ash, or whatever it is. I don't really fight that many people that do this, but it's an interesting covenant to come across. I get a parry on him then, and I get the riposte, but I do it with my fist because I'm an idiot. This is interesting. I cure the poison with my back to him, and the backstab misses, and I managed to iframe through the hit, which must have been really frustrating for him. But here comes the combustion, and unfortunately, as soon as I see that, I am going to try and roll backstab it, because it's the best way to punish combustion spam. The only problem is if the connection is bad, combustion spam can almost be impossible to avoid. And there's a lot of people that will argue that, much like backstabs, where they're like, oh, you're just bad at the game if you can't get away from it. And it makes me think that these people have never been on a connection where they've hit you with combustion from 50 yards away. Like, never underestimate just the insanity that is Dark Souls and its lag. And you see just then, my sword is at risk, and I don't have any repair powder, so I'm going to switch it out for a different sword, because I don't want to break it. Not that breaking it makes any difference. So I'm curious to what he thought at this moment when he saw me with the Claymore on. Because I don't have many weapons on this build, and most of them are some of the most common and generic weapons that you see in the game. And the only reason that they are the ones that they are is because they're the ones I picked up during my playthrough, when I was going through the areas and unlocking them. So I could obviously get to the kiln. But this weapon is definitely interesting against him because it's a different moveset. We're a lot more equal with it. We're equal on terms of speed and things like that. I'd say he has perhaps the advantage just because the R2s on the Moonlight Greatsword are some of the most impressive R2s on the game. One area that I definitely benefit from is the roll attack, because the poke is one of those moves that people don't really see coming and it catches them out a lot. Right then, I don't know what happened. I went for the backstab, but he just got away. He got away big time. And that were unfortunate. He aimed it at the floor, but for some reason the weapon must have pierced the geometry, and thus the explosion went under the map, so it didn't hit me. And I don't know if that was lag, I don't know if that's just a flaw in the game, but it's one of those moments where I was dead to rights there, and it would have hurt, but it just never landed. He's going to do it again. See what I mean? Very powerful too. It's really damaging, but for some reason it just didn't register. But Greatsword Wars are always these interesting moments. I should have really gone to capitalise on the cast, but I'm so paranoid that they're going to hit me, because that happens all the time. Like, I go in to punish people casting Soul Masters, and I get hit by all of them, and it does 1,000 damage. So I'm very hesitant to fight the spell. So he's doing the backwards backstepping, so he's obviously got experience with the spells and how to use them creatively and interestingly. That right there was a really strange trade. I did 700 damage to him, and I don't think he did anywhere near as much damage as I did, which is strange because his weapon, depending on his stats, I would have thought would have been more powerful than mine, but apparently it wasn't. So he goes for the parry. I get him with a two-handed, get him with a running attack. There's some big attacks happening here. Just miss him there with that one. He clips me really well when I tried to do the backstep running attack. Pull out the bow just to be that guy. He stands behind here, and I think I hit him when he's grassing. Oh no, I don't. He pulls out some spells, comes back with the sword. Go for the roll attack. I hit him, but he iframes through it. I go for it again. It rolls away. Go for the R2. Double R2. He goes for the running attack. Oh, come on, game. And then finishes me with that. So, really well played by him. Not a fan of the phantom damage, but it were a hard-fought battle, and he deserved to win. And I couldn't seem to get the upper hand with the scythe. And I've not used the scythe for a while, but it's still one of my favourite weapons, and it's a very capable weapon. So there I go with the one-handed R2, which is probably my favourite move with the scythe. Same with the one-handed running, because it's kind of awkward, but then I take another big phantom hit. Comes in with a running attack, do the roll. I'm not very confident in roll backstabbing with the scythe because if you whiff, it's got such a big animation. He hits me twice there with some more questionable range shots, but it all counts, apparently. Comes back in, hit him with the scythe. Backs away, pulls out more Soul Masters. I go for the punish and then I just balls out of it because I'm a coward. Comes back in for a run attack. I go to punish it with the R2. He's damage racing me at this point and he's winning, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I'm going through... Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was so good. I sent him a message at the end of that one, because he aimed perfectly at the pillar, and I got hit by the splash, and regardless of Darkwood Grain Ring, there's no way I was iframing through it. And as you can see now, I'm sending him a message saying, you know, nice shot, but I'm going to skip. But it just goes to show, guys, losing doesn't have to be a bad thing. Losing can be a humbling and an enjoyable experience as long as you learn from it and you know why you lost. And the first thing you can't do is make excuses. So, I don't know if you noticed just then, but when he cast it, I punished it with the bow. That's what I was noticing. First thing he did on all the fights was cast the soul mass. And because I was doing such a poor job of punishing it, I did it with the bow preemptively, and it worked out really well. So I go with a couple of swings, charges that dangerous R2. How that didn't hit me, I couldn't tell you. But comes back in with the mind games. He knows he's killed me now. Oh, that was beautiful. But he misses it, which is really unfortunate. So I go for the jump attack, and oh, come on, game. Gets the backstab, which makes up for his whiffed parry. And it was a punish, so there's nothing wrong with that backstab before the backstab police start coming along and saying any different. So it comes for the running attack, punish it with the backstab, get a quick 700 damage. This is down to the bone now. We're both very close. I go for the kick to wake up smack. I don't hit it. We both kind of roll in a funny direction, and then it's back to, goes for the parry attempt. He gets, that was a partial somehow. Didn't look like it should have been. And then I missed the jump attack. Oh, again. So close with the jump attack, and I missed. And that there. Hit him with the bow when he's grassing, which is another thing. I'm sorry, dude. I was just trying to get that win. Go in with the quick hit. Hits another one of the R2s. Can't catch him at all, because the damn thing's pretty slow, and you feel every single frame. But two hands again. I know the running attack's coming, and then we trade and we kill each other. So I think they're exciting fights. I hope you do too. I hope you enjoyed them, and you take care now.